restoration of historical buildings really gives you an insight into how people lived 100, 150 years ago. A lot of the older buildings are so much better built than modern buildings are. I have undertaken several restorations of historic homes. I've owned large properties before. I am a civil engineer by profession and kind of a historical restorationist by hobby/passion. My interest in the Indiana State Sanatorium was primarily its location in Indiana and its just natural beauty. It rivals state parks in the beauty of its landscape. It has massive state-built infrastructure, roads, power plants, houses, buildings. It was the whole package, but also being able to open a new business in Indiana was a big part of it. The Indiana State Sanatorium was opened as the Indiana State Tuberculosis Hospital in the early 1900s.
All over this broad land of ours, a bit of war is being fought against tuberculosis.
It had about 300 tuberculosis patients. They built a state-of-the-art facility out here in rural Indiana to care for tuberculosis patients and quarantine them from the general population of the state. The site was originally 600 acres. It was a self-contained town. It had its own schools, stores, dairy, orchards, farm fields. The staff lived on the site with the patients, and it was quite an endeavor. The site closed in 1968 and was opened again as Lee Allen Bryant Nursing Home Mental Hospital in 1976, and it stayed open to 2011. In 2011, the site closed again and was abandoned until we took over in early 2021. This is far and away the largest project that we've taken on. Currently, we have about 220 acres. We have dozens of buildings. We have hundreds of thousands of square feet under roof. We're working to get the entire site on the National Historic Registry as a district, and we will be restoring all the buildings. The reason to get on a National Historic Registry is multifold. The federal government gives a 20% tax credit on money that was spent towards historical restorations. Having a property on the National Historic Registry also brings tourism. It's a nice marketing bonus. There are about 20 buildings on the site, 7 houses, 3 main hospital buildings, lots of ancillary structures, small garages. We are sitting in the Indiana State Sanatorium Dairy Barn, a 14,000 square foot banked barn that was designed by Purdue University in 1914 and then built by the state of Indiana as a model dairy barn. This facility provided milk products to the Indiana State Sanatorium and the Indiana School for the Blind.
The grand plan for this dairy barn is to be an indoor facility that up to 1,000 people can utilize. We have already been contacted by several different groups to hold weddings here. We are hosting the local prom here next spring. We've already talked to music promoters about hosting live music events in here.
Some of the other major buildings on the site are the 1908 administration building, about 35,000 square feet. It was built in several stages. It originally housed the doctors and nurses, the pharmacy, the kitchens for the facility.
First time I walked into it, I thought it was a hotel. I didn't realize it was just admin. The plans for that building is to turn it into short-term housing, kind of like a hotel. It probably will have about 24 rooms.
There was the 5-story building that was built during the tuberculosis era that was dormitories for tuberculosis hospital staff. There is a modern-ish, a 1980s era nursing home, an 80-bed nursing home. So there are lots of major buildings on the site.
After we bought the property, someone came and contacted us about doing paranormal investigations here. The buildings are all still standing. Most of the buildings have furniture in them, other personal items, and so there's been some interest in doing tours of the buildings. And we do private tours where you can rent the area and be the only people here. And we also do public tours where we'll take groups on a guided tour through all the buildings.
We're not renovating this property, we're restoring this property. Having the old feeling, making it warm and modern and safe is obviously important, but keeping the history is also equally important. We're always taking volunteers out here at the Indiana State Sanatorium if you're interested in history and getting your hands dirty. We've had dozens of volunteers, or hundreds of volunteer days of people that have come out and helped. They've helped clean the buildings, they've helped restore the land, they're helping with the historical restoration. So volunteers are always welcome.